This is Smithy.tv.
Alright, thanks for tuning in. You're listening, watching, however you ingest this, to 5 Questions with Jeremy and Milan. Tonight my guest is Mr. Ennis Esmer.
Hello? I don't even know where to look. Where do I look?
You can look anywhere.
But I should try to keep it like this fairly descriptive in case people are listening on the radio, right? Like,
yeah, we got to make this a really visual podcast.
It's the difference between like baseball broadcasting on TV and on the radio. So.
Yeah, we should have some telestration going on.
Welcome back to, what is the show called?
5 Questions.
Great to be here.
Thank
you for having me.
Thanks for...
Jeremy is sipping from his water, which is obvious to you viewing at home, but not to you listening.
If you're not tuning in on the web, you're just not getting the full experience.
He's drinking out of a tiny fish bowl, which I was told there was a little baby koi in there earlier.
That was the sushi we had earlier.
Oh, it comes full circle. I did not participate in the sushi. As I was not told about it, or I would have been here. Thank you, though.
Yeah, next time.
Great.
Next time we'll eat it off Ryan Goldhar.
I would like that very much. He's hanging back masterfully. For those of you who don't know, Ryan Goldhar is sitting in the corner.
He can go to the masturbation camp.
He waves.
I just went to the masturbation camp.
What? What kind of? Oh, this is that podcast? Oh my God!
That's what the jar's for.
We start now.
Once it's full, we start in.
I thought that was an urn. Those aren't remains.
Oh, it's a sperm.
It's just dry.
Okay. How many times does that make for you today, Ryan? Can you do it? Can you get off without the cam, or does it have to?
I just did.
You like to be? Oh, Mazel Tov. Okay, here we go. Jeremy, do you want to take control of this?
Yeah, we're gonna move right on.
Vessel or what?
So right before we jumped in, I mean, this is gonna air in a few weeks, so this will be old news by then, and who knows what the number will be then. But we were just checking out the Veronica Mars movie, Kickstarter thing, because we funded our last movie through a similar method,
right? And including my salary, the final. What was it, like 80 million?
Yeah, something like
pretty
that.
Pretty good. A lot of that backloaded.
Yeah.
For services rendered. But this Veronica Mars thing. So they started today.
They launched this morning.
They launched a thing that said...
Here's the thing, just to keep a context too. So their goal was to raise $2 million in 30 days.
Right.
Nobody has... I'm not sure if this is true for any, because you can submit, whatever you want to Kickstarter. Like it's like a stopwatch you could sell. But in terms of entertainment, I think... It was the highest amount of money anyone's ever asked for.
Okay.
So it was $2 million.
And this was going to be the entire budget for this movie?
Yeah. And they said that if they raise anything over 200, that goes towards their nudity and explosion budget.
Oh, good.
So it's going to be good. So anyway.
So they raised $2 million in less than
They haven't quite hit
hours?
at the point of, probably while we're recording this podcast, they'll hit $2 million. But they were at like 1.9 when we started rolling.
Over how long?
This morning.
938.
They
1.938 million?
They raised, so far they've raised $1.9 million in one day.
For Veronica Mars, which is like a teen detective. I mean, I have to be honest with you, but I don't know the show.
I've watched a couple episodes. It's a good show.
But it's like a teen dramedy?
Yep.
It's like a charming, cute hybrid of she's a detective with a dad.
Yeah, like her best friend,
like live action
her best
Archer
friend was
for
murdered,
kids.
and her dad's a detective, so she decides to take on. This is what I've gathered from a few.
So it's like Encyclopedia Brown reboot, but a lady and Kick-Ass.
I don't know that reference, but
you don't know Encyclopedia Brown?
No.
What are you, 15 years old?
Like Carmen Sandiego.
Encyclopedia Brown. He solved crimes as a little kid. He had like a detective agency. Encyclopedia Brown, in the case of the skulls and missing skulls.
I don't know.
Some skulls went missing. He was looking for. Ryan, help me out.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia Brown. Did you read Bruno and Boots?
No.
Gordon Corman?
I know that one.
No, Gordon Corman is the author of Bruno and Boots. I mean, I was just going that era, but Hardy Boys is earlier.
Yeah.
Hardy Boys, Nancy
Hardy Boys.
Encyclopedia Brown
You
is
know Hardy Boys, but you don't know Encyclopedia Brown, which is actually more contemporary.
It's because my parents were cheap, and so they bought at yard
just
sales
kept their
Hardy
own
Boys. Yeah.
Yeah, because Encyclopedia Brown.
So
Scholastic
they were
Book Club. They were like 3 for $10.
I didn't.
You were busy buying the novelizations of I know what you
keep
were
going.
doing. Yeah.
You got nothing.
I was trying to think of something I was trying to think of something racy, but they didn't sell any racy books through Scholastic.
No.
Or like you could use the photographs in the middle of the novelization of like.
Lost Girls was not on there.
No, I wouldn't think so. No. But if they had like I don't know like a novelization of Stripes. Where they had like a shower
I did
scene.
buy those. Yeah,
I had that one with the pictures. You could see a woman in a bra.
We have the Muppets Take Manhattan of that my son loves. And it's a terrible novelization.
Sure, they're awful.
Yeah, it's
I had that. They sold the rights for young people fucking.
I read it. Yeah, it's like
you're in my house. It is. They just turned it into like a filthy. It's not even Harlequin.
It's not even the same characters, really.
No, it's the same. It's the same names, but it's like he cleaved her What I could say everything.
Go ahead.
Just it's just vaginas but just rude. You love Shaft and his heat pump and
not as classy.
Not as classy. Well, I mean, I don't know. How do you make it classy? It's not like the movie was like an R-rated Friends episode. It's not like it was just raising the bar for filthy repartee.
But the book. I mean, well, you were
the
saying
book is like it's like at a penthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how they got away with that or what, but it's in my it's on my coffee table. So you can read it.
Conversation. You can go over to Ennis' place. You can read.
Oh, we acted out. We act out parts. It's like a weird like reimagining. And it's like what if young people fucking was actually a porno?
Every Thursday night.
Not every Thursday night. I mean, I gotta get some rest.
Once a month.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got totally moved around from the.
So Veronica Mars.
But anyway, just I mean, the idea is that
How did we get onto what were we talking? Oh, we went to detective books.
Yeah.
Right. But it just kind of blows my mind that this thing can get made. I imagine what like you say about Firefly. What if Firefly did it, or like
Jesus Christ?
If
I can't
Mitchell
imagine
Hurwitz had taken Arrested Development to the people.
Yeah.
Because they were having, I mean, I guess it was scheduling stuff too, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you look at this, like, I mean, Christian, I wonder, I don't think you could do this with an original idea. I mean, the fact that you've already got a built-in fan base for the characters
I think that's
stuff.
what makes sense with that. But, I mean, you could if somebody...
If you had enough star power, yeah, I think...
That's what I'm saying, it's about, like, if someone decided another... But the thing I wonder is, like, if you had that much star power, don't they have enough money that they could... I mean, are people... I wonder if the cast is putting in any of their own money. Because $2 million seems like a relatively paltry fee... I can't imagine what Kristen Bell made on the show, but it was a hugely successful show. Right?
Yeah, but if they're not putting their own money in, you got to imagine
it's all back
end. Yeah, they're taking all the back end. And the thing is, like, this $2 million, all they owe back is perks.
Right.
Right. So it's like they were selling $100 or $1,000 seats to the premiere. That cost them nothing.
Right. For the premiere of the movie that they haven't. There's nothing.
The movie doesn't exist.
And they don't have to fly them there. So if they're in
California,
they have to in New York.
They just have to let them have a seat.
That's pretty wild.
And they're essentially pre-selling DVDs. So so in that $2 million, they build in the cost of manufacturing them.
DVD too. And there's one that was a $10,000 reward for
a walk-on part.
A walk-on part, and it doesn't even say like you have this many lines or you're in scenes with Veronica Mars.
I think there's a couple of walk-ons, and I think that there's one speaking role.
Oh.
So maybe there's.
But how big could the role be? And that was somebody paid $10,000 for that,
or more.
So this thing did not exist yesterday, and somebody has enough money and is that big a fan of Veronica Mars that they went online today, heard about this today, and decided today this is worth $10,000.
Yeah.
Without even knowing.
Or had that much line of credit.
That is.
And is in desperate debt now.
Do you think Veronica Mars is anybody's favorite show?
Oh yeah.
Think about that. Like, is anybody's favorite movie Cars? Like, did anyone see Cars and was like, oh yes, this is it?
Well,
I think there's a fair.
What if there's a star whose kid loved the show,
right? And
they said, Daddy, why don't you do it? And now an actor who's a name
that also makes sense.
Put that $10,000 and said, hey, I'll do a one line.
That'd be pretty funny, yeah.
Because then you're just helping along something.
It's actually Tom Cruise,
right?
Tom
Cruise's kid loves Veronica Mars, and now they're in it.
I don't even.
Maybe it's Barack Obama. You don't know.
It's Obama. Yeah.
Yeah. He did it for Malia. I only said Malia because I can't remember Sasha, the other one. But is Malia the tall one?
I didn't know either of their names.
American politics, ladies and gentlemen. I just read about Stephen Harper's wife in the Globe and Mail, but now I can't remember her name. Leanne, something. But she said she was no Michelle Obama. She made a point of that.
Yeah, she sure isn't.
Racist. That's racist.
That's not where I was going.
No, I know you weren't.
But you just had to dig in there anyway.
No, I was saying that she was racist, but I don't even know if that's true.
She was going.
I only read the under the tag thing. I got distracted by the sports section, but they had a whole Jays preview. So what we're talking about, we're back with Jeremy Lalonde on. We
didn't really go anywhere. Here we are. Yeah, I mean, just the way that this has got to be the way you got to think it's going to go. It's just, I mean, this is going to be an excellent example of what star power can do in a very short period of time. Where if you've got, like, if you say you're Vince Vaughn, you've got this project you've been wanting to do, you can't get a studio to back it.
Right.
You jump on here and say we were trying to raise $5 million.
Right. It's about like cloning himself into
Whatever
like
it
a
is.
sex robot.
Yeah.
Right.
Free ID, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, not bad, right? Plug that. That's an idea for you right there. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. If you could make it. If you were a big enough star and you can't get it pitched, I mean, do they go to the studio now with this $2 million and go, "Hey, look,
why would you?
We did this."
They don't owe anyone back. They don't owe any of this money back.
Yeah, they don't owe anything back. And they got 30 days left.
Yeah, I guarantee, and we'll probably by the time this airs, I think it'll be it'll be up. I bet you they raised at least $10 million.
We should make a Veronica Mars movie. It's clearly a gold mine.
I don't know if... Well, we'll make the sequel. We should set up a Kickstarter campaign for the sequel for the Veronica Mars movie.
Why don't you wait till a listener goes off the air, and then we'll come back as a listener.
Oh yeah, that'll be... That's the same thing. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. Oh yeah.
At least legitimately you're in it, you can actually say that.
Legitimately.
You can play Rico's part. You can pull off Rico.
I can play Rico. I tell you what, you can make a Flashpoint movie, no problem. I mean, how many people watch Veronica Mars? I've said Veronica Mars tonight. The words Veronica and Mars in this last 20
More time
minutes
than you've done
in my entire life. And I love Mars and Archie. But
never together.
I was a Betty guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I feel like Betty did like filthy stuff that you didn't know about.
Oh, you think that's the thing?
I think it's like she's sweet, but she's just
because Veronica doesn't need to go there.
Yeah, I think the thing is like Veronica is rich, so there's that allure, and she probably is a nihilist.
But she's probably terrible in bed.
But she's probably terrible in bed because she said people tell her that she's great at the
Betty has to try harder.
Betty's eager. And I think Betty's she just gave off this kind of hungry vibe.
And Betty wants...
She was a bit more anal, like she was fussy.
She would
into anal,
she would do
as
anal.
well.
But she was really particular about it, so she was like double anal.
Because Betty wants to please you.
Me personally, is she here?
Maybe, hopefully.
Wow.
Yeah, the cartoon version of Betty, she's on the hall.
Did you ever watch that live action version that they made? It was like an
the one with
movie where like Ethel grew up and she was hot, and Jughead sang "Sugar."
Yeah,
remember that? This weird was like
yeah.
It was really he didn't even wear the crown.
I don't know why, but I taped that off TV, and I think I watched that over and over again for some reason.
I watched it a couple times. I had this weird memory in my mind because I was so fixated on Jughead because
there's a scene in the hotel room where Betty was super hot, right? She wore the
Ethel was also hot.
I had the comic version of it.
You had the comic book. Speaking of novelizations,
the comic version
of the reunion
episode, and it was exactly the same. Like they had them drawn similar.
Are any of those actors still? You know what? The guy who played Jughead was in Seinfeld. There was an episode where Elaine gets a new phone number. It was late in the
He's a character actor. He's done quite a bit.
He does lots of stuff.
Yeah.
But I always found Jughead fascinating because he didn't even care about girls, and like he was kind of he just liked to eat burgers, and if you replaced didn't care about with was petrified by. That was me basically, except I didn't wear like a cool felt crown. But remember when he switched to the gold crown?
It was
felt caps.
It was a felt crown, yeah. And he switched to a gold one from the gray one, and all of a sudden he was just clearing brush left and right. Do you remember that?
No.
He was like a chick magnet out of nowhere. It was a whole thing. I have no idea where.
I missed that double digest.
It was good. It was a good story. It gave me hope. One day I could find like some one magical haberdash that could just bypass all of society's conventions and get me laid.
The best swear words came out of that show. Like blast, and double blast. Tut tut, Archie, such language.
Tut tut.
No one says tut tut enough.
I don't think anyone says it ever.
Brian Goldhart just said it.
Yeah, but he was quoting something.
So someone said it. But he had
and then you said it actually after that too. So
I've said tut tut in this podcast.
Can we check the charts? See if this was just on the radio, we could claim that we had a big chart.
We're at
graphing.
1.976 by the way.
1.976 million for Veronica Mars. Guys, we're almost there. We need 24,000 more to reach Veronica Mars' $2 million goal.
They're gonna hit it, but I like that Goldar is putting more effort into that than he is.
Yeah, really good stuff by the way.
I'm switching camera angles. Don't you worry.
So what
else do you want to talk about? You question?
What is this? What this is?
We'll launch right into it. Yeah,
it's a very original concept, by the way.
Are you mocking? I can't tell if you're mocking.
Did you say macking or mocking?
You could be doing both at the same time.
I'm
talent.
I'm negging you. I read about it in the pickup artist guide. So yeah. Why do you wear so much cobalt? What is the deal? Is that cobalt? I don't even know.
I think it's questions.
Questions. So what happens here? You draw questions.
You pick one out and just hand it to me.
All right.
You have to pick the question, but you don't get to look at it.
Okay, I see what you're saying here.
So it's your fate. You can't blame me if you get a question you don't like.
Yeah, but I don't know what it's not like I know that I didn't pre-approve these questions, so it is. Okay, is there two there?
Just one, you're good.
Are there two? The first question is...
What do you like about telling stories?
Ugh.
Wow.
Nobody wants to hear about that. Because it's a story. What do I like about telling stories? I'm desperate for attention, so if I got something to tell people... then they're onto something. You know what I mean? My father, he tells a story about the time he offered a woman a ride in like the King and Strawn area before it was not just as scuzzy as could be. And in the dead of winter, he tried to be a good Samaritan, offer this woman a ride, and it turned out she was a prostitute. But she was in like a hoodie and jeans, and she asked if she could blow him and put her hand on his leg, and he called me soon afterwards. He was like, I don't know what I just did. He tells that story to everybody You hang around my dad like more than a half hour, and he's into that story.
Yeah.
Friends of girlfriend's friends, friends of girlfriends, whatever. Just like people that he knows peripherally. You sit down and start a meal with him, he'll launch into that story. So I think it's a great story. So I think that's what's fun about it, is having someone just captivated. That's what's fun about telling stories, I guess. And it's fun to lie to people. Do you know what I mean? Stories is a word for fibs too sometimes.
Yeah. So this woman, she wasn't off the clock then?
I don't know what she was up to, because she was dressed for the season, but she still looked cold. And my father took this one chance to be a good Samaritan. Not that he's not a good guy, he's very...
so does he not give rides now? He won't.
He will not pick anybody up. Dead of winter, no way, no how.
Small crying child.
He hasn't tried it with men. This was a woman, so maybe he feels like it's different for men. So I mean, maybe we'll see. If you want to maybe write a sequel to this story, we could drive around with my dad, get in here next week,
and hang around the King's.
That's a really vague question. Like it's a very.
It was.
Do they get better?
The questions?
Yeah,
we'll find out. Let's go.
Sorry for that first one. What do I like about telling stories? It's like when you asked me earlier in the EPK, why should people see this movie? What the fuck do I should? What am I? I'm not the boss of you. Go see the movie if you want. Should.
That's how Ennis Esmer promotes your project.
Why should people tune into the listener? Should? I don't know. Do you like that kind of stuff? Then I guess you should. That's not my job. That's a commercial's job. Should watch it. How presumptuous? How dare you?
What's your earliest memory? Do you approve this question? Is this one okay?
Yeah, this one's great. This one I like. Earliest memory I have was I was going to Grenoble Drive Public School in kindergarten, and there was I can't remember the name of the daycare, but I'd go for half day and I'd stay at the daycare for the other half. And I was in SK because it was the afternoon class. And it was one time in the dead of winter. I remember my parents used to give me there's certain things like that because I'm from Turkey originally. I was 3 when we moved here, and there's certain things culturally that are very different. It doesn't get this cold in Turkey in the winter. So
what's the temperature that gets to?
I mean, it snows occasionally in like the north, but it'll get to like 0 maybe, but it doesn't really snow. So I was wearing a balaclava. Like my parents gave like this little 4-year-old kid a balaclava as his winter garb, and so I remember that, and I remember always like just get over my mouth and snow everywhere. So they were supposed to pick me up from the daycare center, which was like maybe 6 blocks away from the public school, and no one picked me up. And it was late, it was winter, and I had no sense of time. It must have been like a half hour, 45 minutes that I was just standing out there by myself. No one came to get me. If you ask me why the teachers left me alone there, I couldn't answer that question for you. But then I think I remember it was like my first time making a really clear decision to be active. I pulled the balaclava down, put on my gloves, and I bolted. I knew where it was, so I bolted.
You knew how to get home?
I just ran back to the daycare. I was home, that's bonkers. It was the other way. We lived near the Science Center.
Okay.
It was like that whole area. Flemington Park? Yeah, Flemington Park. That's the first place I lived in Canada. And I bolted back to the daycare, and I was like weeping, just so afraid of the whole experience. There was snow hitting me in the face. And I got there, and walked in, and they were like, "Oh, there you are. Come on in. It's nap time." And like I didn't know what to say to people, but no one realized that I hadn't been picked up. So I think that sense of not really being noticed I've been carrying it with me my entire life. And I ditched the balaclava because it looked crazy, especially on a child. It's a ski mask for a kid. I had no idea. It was a terrible look. But that's my first memory. It's a terrible, traumatic memory that I've carried with me. It's a tale of being left alone in the winter with a terrible fashion sense. And I think there might have been a stew or something. They served stew and then they put you to sleep for a little while. Not put you to sleep. Wow. They would encourage you down. But when I got there, no one was like, "Oh my God, we were so sorry, we forgot about you." They were like, "Hey, come on in. Take your coat off. Where have you been? What are you doing outside?"
Was it the daycare people that were supposed to pick you up?
The daycare was supposed to pick me up from the public school.
But they didn't. And they were like, "Meh. You found us good."
Yeah, I remember that. That's my first memory.
Did you rat on them to your parents? Or were you just scared?
I don't think it was a rat on them situation. I think I found it so puzzling. It was my earliest memory is definitely of being puzzled. Because I didn't think the world was supposed to work like this. I was like, I'm a little boy. I don't understand.
Someone's supposed to take
care of me. Yeah. And in retrospect, I think it was kind of a good lesson. That's my first memory. Ugh. Jesus. That's really depressing. No, it's fine.
You can't have another one.
No, that's gonna be it. No, was that another earliest memory?
No.
I'm trying to think of if I have a different one, but that's the one that.
Did you have an early positive one?
Yeah, my parents I got Nintendo for like my whatever 6th, 7th, 8th birthday, no 10th birthday. That's not good. We'll cut it out. That's not a good story. I just remember basically when my parents got me Nintendo for Christmas, it was like right when they decided to tell me it was coming from them and not Santa. And then we played Nintendo. We played Mario Brothers. We got all the way to the end of the first world. We thought we beat the game because we were idiots. And we played it together. And then my parents made me go back to doing homework, and they played Nintendo ice hockey for the rest of the day.
Well, you had to do homework
in the other room.
On Christmas Day.
They played video games. They made me do my homework.
I got the.
So when they got divorced, you know how happy I was because my dad was such a pushover. Ooh wee! That's terrible. I feel like we can cut this whole Nintendo story out.
I like it. No. I got Nintendo for Christmas as well.
Yeah.
My dad spent the whole day playing Duck Hunt and swearing at the dog when the last.
Oh, that fucking dog.
Yeah,
But that's more like a grade. That's like a grade 4 or 5 memory. When was Nintendo?
That's around then.
That sounds right. What year are you guys born? 71?
No, I'm 81.
You're 81?
76.
You're younger than me?
Yeah.
Oh boy, you were in rough shape.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm.
Oh, it's a video
podcast.
podcast. Damn it. Yeah,
Jesus.
terrible. Ryan, what about you? How old are you?
76.
76. Yeah, I'm 78. But another memory I have. Trying to get through the Thriller video, and I couldn't do it, and I would have to run and hide under a bed.
Yeah,
because I was so scared to watch it.
My cousin showed me that.
We would dance to Beat It. Was Beat It released before Thriller? It was the same album, but I don't remember what was the first thing. I would try to dare myself to get through Thriller, and I couldn't do it. Forget getting to the end with the hug and the eyes.
The full 15-minute piece?
Yeah, I could get through as soon as he hulks out. Or zombies out, or whatever it is.
Hulks, yeah,
when that happens, I was like, this is terrifying, I can't do this.
Yeah, my older cousin showed it to me in just nightmares.
Yeah, really.
Sure, you know who directed that, right?
The video?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese directed that? I did not know that. Wow. Good work. This is better than Shutter Island. Oh!
Zing!
Thank you for taking me down a terrible path of memories, Jeremy. Next question.
You pick them. I just
okay. Is this going well?
There's one in there about ice cream.
Range of.
Maybe you'll get that one.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you parallel park or drive around the block?
Drive around the block to what?
I'd like to find another spot, like a more open
No, I'm an
spot.
adult. What do you mean? Do I parallel park? Although I will admit that I only got my full G license last summer. But there's a story to that. But no, drive around the block until what? I can pull into a spot from the front. I parallel park. It's not unless it's on the left side. I can't do left side.
No, like how you're all judgmental about it.
No. I mean, I will look for a spot that I can park on the right. I don't like going on the left.
It's a
that
different
angle's
thing.
Tricky. Going over your left shoulder when you're trying to pull in driver's side.
It's a different angle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the opposite angle.
Yeah.
I'm fine with parallel park. But yeah, I just got my G. It's not even a good story. I'm a 34-year-old man and I just got my G license. But
you were essentially born and raised in the city, right?
Yeah, no, I was.
Your need for a vehicle was less.
No, I was born and raised in the suburbs, like in North York. Does that count as a suburbs? That's the suburbs.
Yeah, but you had public transit.
Yeah, I had public transit. I got my G1 or whatever when I was like 20, when I was in university.
Yeah.
I drove for a couple years past my G2. I just never got to the full license. Right. And I was, my dad had a car that just died in a post office parking lot like in 2000, and he bought a new car, and for some reason wouldn't let me ever drive it. And by for some reason I mean because I would always bring the Nissan Stanza home late. And there was one time where there was a scuff, which I said was from getting hit by a parked car, but I was at Queen and Spadina, and I overshot my anticipating a turn, and I got scraped on the bumper. But I mean, these are nominal-ish. These are marginal little scuffs, and so yeah. Then I moved downtown. I didn't drive for 10 years, and this is not a great story. I'm not crazy about telling this story. I'll tell you that.
I grew up in a small town, so it was like if you didn't get your license, you weren't going anywhere.
Sure, I get that. No, I had but now I've been driving pretty steady. I just actually drove auto share for the first time today here because I fucking applied the Zip car, which I think is far superior and there's more locations in the whole thing. But because I have two, under 15-kilometer-an-hour speeding tickets on the same speed trap at Ossington and College, which is my, fool me once or whatever. Yeah. I was declined.
You're not allowed to use it.
In the 18 months, you can't have two moving violations. But they list like excessive drinking and driving over 50 kilometers over the limit, vehicular manslaughter. So they're lumping me in with that, with those, automotive miscreants. Like I'm suddenly lumped in, like I'm part of that.
And what did you do?
There's a speed trap. Like, look, it's like you go from Harvard to college on Ossington, you accelerate just to get to the next light. But they catch you in that moment where it's like you're going like, the speed limit's 40, and I was at maybe like 55. And one time I was on my way to break up with my ex-girlfriend, actually, so I had told him that.
It's awkward when you break up with the exes.
Well, no, he took it down because I was like, I had to make a choice to get, I was going to drive to her house to break up with her. And I was like, I'm doing this today, and I drove.
And fuck this red light.
And then, I didn't skip a red light, but the guy had and I was like, are you serious? I'm on my way to, I'm going to break up with my girlfriend. I said out of exasperation.
What you in such a hurry for, son?
But he knocked it down to under 15.
Because you felt bad?
Yeah. Which I thought I didn't even say it to curry favor. I just did it to just be. I was exasperated. It took me so much mental capacity.
There's another free idea movie. It's a guy going on his way to break up with his girlfriend the whole night and just nothing but fucking problems.
Right. Just him trying to get to that, and then he realizes at the end of the time that he really wants to break up with her. That's
it still ends with that.
It stars Kristen Bell and Rico Colantoni. It's raised $2 million. Are they at $2 million yet? They did it. We made it, guys.
Woo! That's fucking good for them. They're making a movie now. They start pre-production right now.
For the Veronica Mars movie? Okay, here we go. What's the next one? Parallel Parker. Do you drive around the block? You're an adult. Don't you have kids? Do you drive like a minivan?
Not yet.
No? What do you drive?
It's like a CRV.
Okay.
Small SUV.
Okay, not bad.
Same man. Yeah. I will... Depending on if it's super busy straightening out my kids there, it's just like it's easier for me to look for another.
Because they won't shut up and you're trying to focus?
Sometimes with a parallel park. If I'm by myself, I'll always parallel park.
Right.
The kids are there and it's just it totally on a side street always parallel park. Kids are not. But it's like if I got a lineup of cars, I just don't want to deal with that.
Right, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Like on the Danforth, I'd probably keep on going.
Sure.
Unless it's like late at night.
There's a lot of Greeks in that neighborhood too.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Excuse me? I was just saying it's a lovely part of town. Jesus, Jeremy.
What are you doing?
Go on.
What is your favorite movie that most people hate? Like a guilty pleasure movie.
Favorite movie that most people hate? That's a really good question. If we're gonna have some fun with it. Movie that most people hate that I love and go. It's not even like people that hate it, but I watch it more often than I. There's a couple. This is tough. There's a couple. Before I appreciated, watching bad movies on purpose, like because they're bad. I remember I went to see Ishtar with my mother. Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman in the deserts. You know what I'm talking about? Which is like widely known as one of the biggest flops in comedy history. I thought it was pretty delightful. They sing. There's a whole scene where he can't pronounce schmuck. He keeps saying smuck. That's up there with like. I don't know, the My Little Buttercup scene in Three Amigos. Like, I remember that. It's crystallized in my mind. But, I don't know. What else do I watch that's crap? I'm sure I watch other things. I really like the movie The Benchwarmers. It's like just a marginal David Spade and John Hader and Rob Schneider in like the cool guy role. And it's so preposterous. Like it's like because he's dating Naomi, what's her name? The model.
Naomi Campbell?
No. She's white. She was on Las Vegas. With Josh Duhamel. Naomi, she's a model. Anyway, but it was like his. If it had been Adam Sandler, it would have made sense. But I think it was his production company. And John Lovitz plays like this like multi-millionaire who has like a nerdy kid. It's basically like they were losers as kids, and now as adults, they're a team of 4 adults is playing a bunch of like bully kids in baseball. And Nick Swardston's in it, and he has like David Spade has a bob. And a mustache. It's not good. Yeah. But but you enjoy it. I love John Lovitz. I don't know, David Spade is funny. He reminds me of my buddy Colin. He's just like a sniveling kind of like, Not that Colin's sniveling, but he could have been in this movie. But I'm a big fan of John Lovitz. I'll sit through stuff that John Lovitz is in if I know it, even if it's bad. So yeah, I'd say Benchwarmers. If you have like an hour, and I think it's like 78 minutes long or something.
I think it's on Netflix too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on Netflix. It's funny. Oh, and then Craig Kilborn shows up. I think he's one of the villains in it. Surprisingly underrated movie.
Now I'm gonna check. Now I'm gonna watch it.
What about you?
This
is a good one for everybody. I'm Ishtar and the Benchwarmers.
I can't really say I'm ashamed because I like a little. I like musicals. I like a little bit of everything.
So you're just screwed already.
Yeah. Well, Jesus, really? You don't like musicals then? It's because you're dead inside?
I dated a girl in musical theater in high school.
And that killed it for you?
Well, I mean, you know, why you gotta sing everything? It's ridiculous.
It's your fault for going to that school.
Yeah, I did go to an art school. I went to
What the
Overland
fuck?
Secondary School. Yeah, but I didn't have to like singing. I mean, it's an old bit by now. The whole complaining about why do they sing everything? But it's so stupid.
But it's true for so you would never be in a musical.
I would never be. I don't really sing like that. No, I sang in class. Like I know I understand singing, but I'm not gonna do it.
You don't enjoy it.
I wouldn't do it unless it was a joke. I would joke sing.
I
can really give her if it's joke singing, but if it's supposed to be presented as something legitimate, no, there's no way. There's no way. Would you put myself out there like that?
Could you be in a musical in a non-speak singing role?
Like on stage?
No, I'm talking like a movie musical. There's parts that don't always.
Yeah, there's like the dastardly deputy mayor or something like that, who wants to shut down the local kids' lemonade stand.
That's a musical?
And he doesn't sing because he's so dastardly. I'd watch that.
You'd star in it as the dastardly guy that shuts down the...
You kids, get out of here. You can't sell lemonade without a license. For example.
Yeah.
And that fucked up meter, that's a thing in musicals too, where they just keep the sentence going long. I mean, I'm aware of musicals. I understand them.
But okay, so movies that I...
Ryan, you jump in on this too.
Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk is terrible. Good.
You know what though, Hudson's...
Nice pull.
You know what's nice?
You love that movie? One of my favorite movies.
Hilarious.
You know what?
One of your favorite movies, Hudson Hawk.
There's...
We got loads of money.
That's a fun idea. The idea that they set...
Speaking of musicals.
Yeah, the idea that they set their times based on songs. That's a fun idea.
It's their times based on songs. Why am I not remembering that?
The bank robber.
They rob banks based on the length of time the song is.
Right.
We can do this.
That's how they know they're on time.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be like Bruce Willis making like a kind of semi-realistic... It was like the pre-Dark Knight, if you think about it. He was like a superhero, wasn't he?
No. It was a
bank robber.
It was a cat burglar.
Have you seen Hudson
I
Hawk?
haven't seen the movie.
You just know you're not supposed to know.
I saw the trailer. I feel like I've seen bits of it, but I might have been...
He gets out of jail after being in jail for 10 years. Like, so he's missed like the introduction of like Nintendo. He has no idea what that is.
Right.
You know, like all of these things have happened to him. And the first thing they do, he goes back to the bar that he partly owns, with Danny Aiello.
Right.
And the first thing they do is offer him a job as a burglar. And he's like, I
just got out of jail, okay.
But, you know, it is...
I think maybe just the ad campaign for that. I have like...
It's campy. It's a campy movie.
It's really campy, and it bombed at the box office.
Yeah, I remember it was supposed to be a big deal at the time, right?
No, because it's Bruce Willis.
How late was it after? It was after Die Hard 2?
Maybe around the same time?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It was definitely after Die Hard, but...
Yeah, of course.
Like for me, it's like I mean I love Woody Allen movies and
sure
and it's they're revered and whatnot. But it's like there's a lot of people that, like my dad would never watch a Woody Allen movie.
I mean they're painful now. Just
the new ones.
I was looking at all the posters outside. I've never seen Bananas or Sleeper. I gotta catch up.
You would love those ones.
Yeah, because I like Deconstructing Harry. I like Celebrity. I like Manhattan Murder Mystery. His comedies I like the most. But there's stuff.
You'd like the early ones because it's got the goofy stuff.
Yeah, I definitely.
You'd enjoy that.
I should do that. Everything you ever wanted to know about sex. I gotta catch up. There's certain things.
Yeah, that one's great. Yeah, especially like the earlier stuff. I think you would really dig.
I've seen like Crimes and Misdemeanors, Hannah and Her Sisters. Those movies. I mean, I was too young maybe to appreciate them. My mother would take me to these movies.
What about Casino Royale?
Casino Royale, I haven't seen, but I would like to see that. That's
him and David Niven.
Yeah, come on, that's James Bond. That's not bad. That's good casting.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And Woody Allen technically plays James Bond in that movie.
Yes,
but man, he's made some poop. The Curse of the Jade Scorpion.
That one's not. You know, it's like I'll defend most Woody Allen movies.
Purple Rose of Cairo his?
Purple Rose of Cairo is great.
That's earlier. That's not. Curse of the Jade Scorpion is like Dan Aykroyd and Helen Hunt.
Yeah. There's certain I'm like.
Small Town Crooks is funny for the first 25 minutes of it. What do you mean? What? What? You have Small Town Crooks Bank again? Speaking of John Lovitz and Michael Rappaport is
Michael Rappaport.
And the thing where they're trying to dig through the bank, but when Hugh Grant shows up,
that's why it's clever. It's a cookie jar. It's a cookie jar. It has a safe.
But it's a safe. And you kept you have your urns, you have ashes in there.
No, these are the questions.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, right, that's the question. Where is the urn that Ryan was jerking off into?
This is not an urn. You thought it was an urn. This is all you.
I'm not following. You really should be listening to this on the radio.
But isn't this? I found this, but I found this in like a secondhand store.
Have you seen Small Town Crooks?
Yeah.
It stinks after the first like 25 minutes, but it is pretty hilarious at the beginning.
I love the idea that it's
I like Michael Rappaport a lot too. Speaking of,
he's great,
but people seem to not be able to stand him. Did you know about that?
I think he's a very specific
polarizing.
Yeah. But it's him and Mighty Aphrodite.
He's like gay marriage. Yes, he's great in that.
Yeah. That's the country.
He's
bumpkin.
like the death penalty. Michael Rappaport is this country is the
Bamboozled.
Bamboozled. He's great in that. Yeah. I wonder if people like.
He does blackface in Bamboozled, doesn't he?
Yeah. Does he particularly? He's the
he's
executive who tries to push.
But I think he actually does it in one scene.
I want to see that movie again.
This season, he just played a really great role on Mob Doctor.
Oh yeah.
He was on in the beginning of the series, and then he sort of.
I like him a lot. Copland.
He's good stuff. But I think he's a very specific actor. Yeah. And so if you don't like, it's not like he's got a super amount of range.
Right.
So if you don't like him, you're probably never going to like him in anything he does.
Perfect. So I'd like to have. I wouldn't mind a career like Michael Rappaport's.
I didn't see him as.
I would immediately train. If you were to come to me right now and go, here's the golden ticket, you can have a career up to as good as he made a Tribe Called Quest documentary. He made a documentary about my favorite rap group. Of course, take that a second. I'm sorry, I'm just mad at myself right now. Because I said I wouldn't mind Michael Rappaport's career. I'm doing Canadian television for crying out loud. Jeez.
There's nothing wrong with Canadian television.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's go another question. Let's just move on from this.
Just to clarify, I'm a big fan of all Canadian television.
If you're viewing in, you can see how awkward Ennis looks right now. So you don't get this on the audio podcast.
This is sincerity. I'm just making my sincerity. This is my solemnity face.
Although I'm sure that the silence also speaks volumes.
If you
guys didn't chip in at all, which was great. Thanks for hanging me out to dry.
Yeah, no worries.
You threw yourself.
Catch me in the new CBC comedy, Hanging Me Out to Dry.
Not starring Ennis Esmer.
Well, I pitched it.
Okay, if you could remake an animated film into live action, star in it, what would you pick?
And star in it?
Yeah.
Animated
well, you don't have to star. You can be a sidekick. Whatever part you want.
Animated film into live action. Animated films do I love? I don't really have anything for this. I'm trying to think like.
You want to do another one?
Stuff as a kid. Did I like animated movies? I liked animated, but I have such resentment for these animated movies that try to like market them to adults. Like I sat through that How to Train Your Dragon because people were like, it's so almost like a live action movie. I'm like, but why don't I just watch a live action movie? Pitching those things like it's
why don't I just watch Dragonheart?
Like a movie you can watch with your kids to exactly. Or what's the one Reign of Fire? Is that the one with Matthew McConaughey and
restaurant movie? No.
No, it's Reign of Fire.
Reign of Fire. Right? Yeah, my friend swore by this movie. It's they fight. Do they fight with they have helicopters? No, they're knights.
No, I think
is this set in current day?
Yeah.
But it's Matthew McConaughey. And I don't remember the other guy. But I think there's got to be a better. Next question.
Let's go.
That was five people.
Let's do bonus.
What are you drawing it?
Oh, well, reminded. You know why? Because Jay Browser made me pick one of the questions. So I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, let's do that. That'd be good.
Really?
Yeah,
for the last one?
I like that a lot.
2 questions. You pulled 2 questions for me.
I did, because he was probably just stuffing his garb.
You were too nice.
Stuffing his garb?
Yeah.
His garb.
I can say that now. We're
stuffing his garb.
Is it easier to love or hate someone on camera as an actor?
Is it easier to love or hate someone on camera? Probably love, I think, because, you know, the thing that I like the most about, guys, I've studied, I'm talking about studying acting. I think it's easier to just find like little faults, especially if it's a comedy or something like that. You can find something that annoys you about the person and just focus on that. And then even if you don't like them, I like busting balls anyway, so I feel like I only really do that if I like somebody, but on camera, you take some of the smile out of it, and it reads as being pretty nasty to somebody. So I think that's a little easier to do. With like romantic stuff, especially if you're friends with somebody that you're, you know, like I'm on The Listener, CTV's hit series The Listener, now filming season 4, and then we'd cut back, and then you'd have the graphic probably, the logo, Toby Logan spinning, 8 p.m.
Not here.
You got it, is it?
Yeah, it's going right now.
So it's gone? Okay, good. So I play Tara Spencer Nairn, who's on Corner Gas.
She was on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Talented young lady. Yeah, she plays my girlfriend. And her husband was like my hero in high school. He was like 2 years older than me, and he like ran the school basically. But he was like a comedian and all that stuff. And when we started doing sketch comedy, he was in a troupe called Dead Kid Did It, and later the Minnesota Wrecking Crew with John Catucci from You Gotta Eat Here, and Ron Sparks and Nargang. Like, I mean, great comedians and stuff. So it was just a weird thing. It's my buddies. It's like my old idol's wife is now my girlfriend. We have just such a like playful relationship. There's times where they ask for it to get like a little. We've been directed to make it like sexier a little bit. And both of us have a little bit of trouble with that because it's just odd.
It's awkward.
Yeah, it's a little. We do it, I think, but it's supposed to be a cute relationship anyway. Yeah. So I would say
it's not steamy.
No, I mean, at the same time, I wonder like. In people in relationships, I've been thinking because I've really kissed a lot of girls in movies and I just did a play over the last year, and I wonder if like, when you're in like a relationship and you have kids and you're an actor and you do that stuff, is it like, oh god, I have to kiss somebody in this movie, or is it like, this is a nice little escape? Do you know what I mean? Is it? It's like a get out of jail free card. It's like a little bubble where.
Do you feel it's like cheating?
No, it's your job, but at the same time, if you're looking for those roles, it's a good perk, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I could say that it's definitely a good perk. Unless you don't like the person. You know what I mean? Unless somebody has like bad breath or...
Fair. I guess it's got to depend on your partner. Whoever you're dating or you're married to or whatever, it's like how they react to it is how you feel about it.
Listen, if it was me, I would never get in the way. Unless it was pornography, and then we'd have to... I mean, I'm assuming I knew they were going to do... It's not like they just jumped into porn when we started going out. But, I don't know. It's for work. It's not like
you're in a long-term relationship. I started a new job today.
What happened to your legal clerk, your paralegal business?
Hey, it wasn't working out.
I want to just take a bunch of dicks. Is that cool? And a couple of vaginas, just see if I like it.
And then we can go to
work, honey.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this just for fun.
Yeah,
we're gonna go to Maui.
Right, we're gonna go to Maui.
On my dick money.
Right, on my dick money. I like it. I'm crazy about that question. Let's see what else you got.
Jesus Christ, here we go. You gotta do the last one.
Okay. Ryan, you want to draw one?
7 questions with Jeremy the long.
I'm not crazy about those last 2. Can we get rid of those last 2?
Yeah.
We're gonna keep the answers in. It's just.
Well, now I'm just milking your time.
How did your mom and dad meet?
This is also not a great story. They met in high school. They were friends since high school. Like they were high school sweethearts, and they've been divorced for 16 years.
Do the math.
15, 14, 18 years. Yeah, so they were. It was a very different time. They were in Turkey, and I don't want to talk about my parents. Next question. Can we just stop? What do you want to do?
Let's just see.
You guys have kids.
I want to make my children are off with their grandparents.
For those of you who don't know, I'm checking my phone right now.
This one doesn't count. You have to have a child for that question.
Well, ask me the question. You know I don't have any kids.
Jesus Christ. Okay. How has having a child changed you as a storyteller or a filmmaker?
Oh, yeah, I don't have any kids.
Yeah. Doesn't count either. What the fuck? This is literally the most... I'm not even kidding. This is the most... Right. If you couldn't work in this industry, you weren't an actor anymore, what would you be doing?
I feel like I've always been good at selling things to people.
You mean door-to-door salesman?
Easy. Why can't we go for something high-end? I gotta go door-to-door? Like that even still exists?
I see you in both times.
I'm selling vacuums in like a fedora, like, excuse me, the gentleman of the house home? No, I always thought about that. I don't know. If I was not... I mean, it's a little peripheral, but I like radio quite a bit. The times I've done interviews, I felt very comfortable behind a microphone just talking.
Not now.
Not now, but no, this has been just awful. But, before I developed a sense of pessimism, I think, like, I was on, like, the school spirit. I was like the head of school spirit.
You were one of the booster crowd.
I was like a fun-loving, well-spirited guy, which I can still be if I need to be. But I resented ever doing it to sell a product. I worked for like promotional companies, and I had to give. The first time I went to TIFF, I was in a tuxedo on a scooter giving out Diet Coke with lemon. So I just hated that so much. But if I were to really have to do it, I feel like I could sell stuff to people because I think I'm okay at like figuring out how to get you to like something I'm saying.
What would you like to sell? What would you sell? What would be your ideal thing to sell?
Aluminum siding. Just take it all the way back to the 50s. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like earthquake insurance, stuff like that, right?
See,
Picket fences. Can I sell picket fences? We install them yourself. No, I don't like to sell. It's weird. I just felt, selling. So maybe selling. Or a professional baseball player. Can I do that?
Sure.
Is there a arena for that?
Yeah.
Change my name to like Gump or
the Gump? That would be your name?
Skipper.
Skipper Gump.
Skipper Gump, yeah.
I like that.
Second baseman.
What number?
11.
What position?
Second base. I can't make the throw from short anymore.
No? I was going to say shortstop.
Also, there's no way I could do that if we're playing, pickup or something. As
but
captain,
not professional.
As captain, no, I can't.
Skipper Gump is not a shortstop.
Well, not everybody can play in the majors. So
yeah.
There's sports all over the place. You might have to play in a small country. I'll go back to Turkey. I'll start a baseball league in Turkey.
And you can play shortstop there.
Yeah, I'll introduce baseball to Turkey as if I invented it. And then
do they don't have baseball in Turkey?
No, I'm sure they do. Now that you mention it, I don't think I've ever seen anybody play baseball. I don't think I've ever seen anybody with a baseball glove playing catch. It's all football over there.
Huh. You could go back and invent it.
Like in time?
No, now.
I could go back in time. Okay, let's get. So
do you know where the first baseball game in the world was played?
Turkey?
In Canada.
I think I knew that.
It was a Canadian sport.
And then what happened?
It was really. I mean, they're all different names, but it was right around the same time as it was before Louisville, right? So it was just right before it.
Right.
But they had
before Louisville existed.
No, I mean Louisville claims is the first official baseball game.
Of course,
but there's more records that go back that show there was one in. I'm not going to remember the name of the small town, but originally there was 5 bases.
Right.
And so the idea was, because the idea was the first base was really close to where you hit. So the idea was that you would hit and then you just go over there and stay there.
Okay.
And as soon as the next person could, you could bolt it around.
Oh.
So you didn't have to prefer to go.
So was it like more based in cricket?
Maybe, yeah. So the idea is that it was really easy to get on base, and as opposed to really trying to get to the first base.
Right.
You didn't have to try as hard. You're pretty much, if you hit the ball, there's a good chance you're on base.
That's not bad.
They changed it.
I think I work at a summer camp. I liked working at summer camp when I was a kid. This really opened up a whole Pandora's box.
You're picking roles you want to play right now.
I'd like to be like a dastard. I'd like to be like a dastardly deputy mayor. That'd be good. Can we end this? What's the deal? I feel like we're done.
Counselor. I mean, they should just remake Meatballs.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be in.
You can do that.
I'll do a Meatballs remake. But I play every part.
Yeah, like Eddie Murphy.
Like Eddie Murphy and Norbit, kind of.
Your own love interest.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun, like Jack and Jill. Oh man.
So how we end it is you have to do one of 2 things.
Okay.
You have to either display some kind of skill.
Now, be honest with me. How much of you'll take a bunch of those out? You're gonna take this whole thing. You think people are still fucking listening? Are you kidding me? We were doing well up until the parallel
number
park
18. Yeah.
Mom and Dad. No one wants to know about how my mom and Dad.
Now because you're mocking me on my own show, we're gonna use.
What is your favorite movie that people hate? That's good.
Jesus Christ.
Earliest memory. That was a fun part.
It's been fun having you on in this.
Has it been? What makes you want to tell stories? Ugh, remember that question? And then, do you parallel park? Seriously, you got this from eHarmony?
All right, what am I got from eHarmony? Why you got to judge? I didn't get it from eHarmony.
Okay, well,
so two options to end the show. You either got to display some kind of talent you can do, or you have to arm wrestle.
Well, what if my talent is arm wrestling?
Then sold. Then you get that.
Talent? I thought I'm good at dismissing people.
Fair enough.
I'm good at belittling people's attempts at creativity.
Trying. Okay.
Does that count? I think I just did that.
Done. Ennis wins.
Wins? No, nobody wins. This is a shame, but nobody wins.
Where are we at for the Veronica Mars thing?
Yeah. Count as of the end of the show is 2.085766.
Do people listen to all this? Like, how long is the average podcast? That's crazy, by the way. They're over $2 million, and it's been
less than 24 hours.
Jesus Christ.
It's been like 9 hours. 24 hours. It's been half a day.
It's been half a day. It's crazy shit. Yeah. So
maybe I'll try to make a movie version of the Rolo chocolate cone commercial I was in 11 years ago. That'd be good, right?
Yeah.
What happened after she took the guy's cone?
I'll tweet it for you.
Classic. Not bad. Okay, so.
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
That's it. That was my talent. Oh, really great to see you.
Yeah, your talent was belittling me on my own show.
I think I did that pretty well over here.
Yeah, you're good at that.
But nobody's going to be listening up to this point.
Well, we'll never know.
You'll never know, and that's really ultimately the goal of anybody putting anything creative out there is who knows. This has been Optimism with Jeremy Lalonde, and in the wanking booth, what do we call it?
Sure.
The masturbation cam with Ryan Goldhar.
Hello, how are you?
This was lovely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Thank you very much. And you know what? It'll get better. See, the talent, it keeps going. Ryan, great way to dress up for today. That was nice of you.
From the masturbation camera.
Yeah.
I can see my sweater. Can't see him.
You can jerk off with a sweater on.
Yeah, that's right, but they don't know I'm not wearing any
Well,
pants.
it works. Yeah. It works as like
if I stand up, I'm like,
Ryan, no cut. That's a good way.
All right, see you later.